The Darren Fletcher era begins at Manchester United with a trip to Burnley. Now, this is your preview for the ahead of the game tomorrow. It's an interesting game. We'll be going through the team news. Obviously, he hasn't done his press conference yet. Um, but yeah, it's the preview. Manchester United vs Burnley. A Burnley team who are struggling. A Manchester United team who currently have Darren Fletcher as their manager. It certainly is going to be a fascinating game to watch. And it'd be interesting to see how Ruben Amorim's squad is kind of moulded in this game. Now, in terms of team news going into the game, Amorim did kind of say in his last post-match interview that Bruno and Mount could be back. So again, we'll have to wait and see. He said that also Mainu is back on grass, Maguire's back on in training as well. So we could have a lot of players back. And let's look at Burnley again. They haven't had a great season so far. Obviously, when we played them before at Old Trafford, it was a narrow win by Manchester United, a Bruno Fernandes penalty. And I thought, if I remember well, we actually played quite well in that game. We created a lot of chances. But again, we narrowly got the job done. Now, this Burnley side haven't got a win since the end of October. But you've seen what happened there against Wolves. Wolves hadn't won since October. United gave them their first point. They go on and get their first 3 points in the season. So we know form don't really take sort of anything going into this game. I think Burnley are a team who've got good players to play a 5-4-1 formation, good manager. And yeah, their home form hasn't been great. They are down in the relegation zone. And I think Manchester United have an opportunity here under Darren Fletcher to get some points. Now, if you look at the team, apparently Darren Fletcher is expected to play with a 4-3-3. Again, we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be big on sort of the formation. But again, I'm excited to see what Darren Fletcher does. It's a great opportunity for him. He's someone who knows the club very, very well. And who knows what this could lead to. I think he obviously is a huge honour and privilege for him. And we see when he speaks in the media what he says. But I think he's going to be a manager who obviously at senior level does have a lot of inexperience. But at youth level, he's very experienced. I think he's managing the under-18s right now and has a good role there. He's doing a good job there. He's someone who's been at the club for a while. And yeah, I think the way in which he plays, he said he likes fast flowing football. He wants Manchester United to get back to the way that they've been playing under Sir Alex Ferguson, which he was obviously a key part of. But I think Darren Fletcher and the way in which he's going to manage the game, I don't think there'll be too much sort of changes. I think you might just see a bit of a change in formation, and I don't think you'll really see many changes to the team that started. But we'll see what happens with the caretaker manager and going forward. But certainly the team going into this game against Burnley. They were the last two teams. That's the Manchester United team I'd go for there. A 4-2-3-1. Again, Fernandes might not be available, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But again, we are limited of options. Not many players back. We're expecting. Apparently, there's good vibes in training as well, which is also a positive. But you look at Burnley 5-4-1. Broja, Dubravka, decent keeper. They're going to be defending. And I think it's down to Manchester United to take their game to them. Now, you look at how Manchester United played in their last away game. I don't think we've lost for a while away from home, but we've got quite a few draws in that. And you look at United's last away game against Leeds, it wasn't great. It's going to be a similar sort of game. I think Burnley will definitely seek to kind of potentially beat Manchester United because we know we're in a rough patch. We're not in the greatest of form, and Burnley's results haven't been great either. They're a team struggling for confidence. They're a team who I think it's Scott Parker look to defend a lot and be deep in their box. Now again, their sort of way in playing is quite defensive, counter attack, especially at home. I watched I think at the start of the season against Liverpool, and they were a much different team to what they are now. And you look at their last few results, they haven't won, as I said, in a very, very long time, and they're a team that are struggling in the league, in the Premier League in terms of picking up points, getting results. And yeah, their last game was a 2-0 loss to Burnley. 2-0 loss to Brighton away from home. And they lined up again 5-4-1. They're going to be looked to be compact and hit United on the counter-attack. And we know how the goal came from against Leeds. It was a little mistake from Aidan Heaven. And we know they can be costly, so they're going to look to exploit that. If we look at United's form versus Burnley, it's actually not that bad. In terms of being at Turf Moor, I know there was a period where it was a bit of a bogey team for Manchester United. But the last time that we went to Turf Moor, we beat them 1-0. It was that wicked Bruno Fernandes volley from a Johnny Evans diagonal pass, which was brilliant. Before that, Turf Moor 1-1. Then, and then going back 2021, we beat them there as well. I think that was under Ollie, who could potentially be there at Manchester United again. So United have a good form at Turf Moor, but you look at United form going into this game, no manager, Darren Fletcher set to take charge. Again, potentially in terms of team, I go Le Mans in goal, as I said, back four of Shaw, Heaven, Martinez and Dallo. Midfield two of Ugarte and Casemiro, and if Mount's fit, Mainu's fit, I'm throwing them straight in. Could you see a Jack Fletcher and Tyler Fletcher midfield too? I know that's something that's been doing the rounds on social media. I don't think that will happen, but it's definitely a good moment for them. Then as the 10, again, if Bruno's fit, I'd start him. If not, you'll probably see Xerxes go in there, and it'd be Cunha, Dorgu and Sesko. Now, Sesko, you need to see a lot more from him. I think Sesko's a player who, again, is going to be a difficult game again. Burnley, they defend well, they defend deep. They have 5 defenders, 3 physical centre-halves. I know Arsenal won there, but they did struggle in that game. I think with Burnley, they're going to look to be defensively very, very good. And I think we need Cunha. If Bruno's back, again, I probably wouldn't risk him in this game. We have the derby coming up in a few days. In over a week. We have Brighton in a few days in the FA Cup. I'd rather play him in that game, if I'm being honest. But again, if Mount's back, potentially he goes into the team. So we'll have to wait and see. It certainly is going to be an interesting game to watch. See how Darren Fletcher sets up this Manchester United team. I mean, the Amorim era's over. It's now the beginning of the Darren Fletcher era, and it's a perfect moment, perfect opportunity for him to obviously go out and get a win. We know the state that the club's in right now. Looking to get a new manager, no manager in at the moment, and the reason why Amorim was sacked was not his performances. So yeah, Darren Fletcher has been someone who has been in and around sort of the club before. He knows what it's gonna, in terms of first team, and he knows what it's gonna take to beat this Burnley side. It is gonna be a difficult game, but I expect Manchester United to get a win. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Manchester United win. Let's see what this leads to for Manchester United. We know he's likely to be in charge for at least 2 games, so this game and the Brighton game, and then we'll see what happened in the game after against Man City. But I think Manchester United will do enough to get a win away at Burnley. It's a tough ground to go to. Teams have struggled there. It's going to be a difficult atmosphere. But again, you expect the players to turn up and hopefully get a win against a Burnley side that has struggled. Again, though, that does not guarantee that United are going to get a win. We've seen how poor they've been at times this season against teams that you expected to beat. Leeds expected to beat Wolves, Everton with 10 men, West Ham, Bournemouth game we should have won. Even going back to right at the start of the season, Fulham. So United have not been great. But again, we have a decent record against Burnley. They're a team that's struggling. And let's hope Darren Fletcher can get Manchester United a win.